Danny, do you get frightened?
No, I don't. Only of people, not a spirit, yeah.
How long have you been a medium?
Well, if you say, I've always been like psychic, it goes throughout our family,
Yeah.
but practising medium probably for the past 10 to 15 years.
Yeah. And so you're with the group of the guys with the... What does SCI stand for?
Spirit Connection Investigators.
Spirit Connection Investigators.
Yes.
Paranormal. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So, Danny, when you do the ghost tours,
Yeah.
how do you pick up a presence? Is it visual? Is it sound? Is it a feeling?
It comes in a lot of different forms, depending on the night and how they want to show themselves to me. I'm mainly clairsentient, which is clear feeling, and what that involves is if spirit's close to me, they will give me impressions of how they passed or what they're feeling at the time. And what that is and it's a process of understanding over the years and fine-tuning it if it's actually from me or from spirit. But if there's a spirit around and they've passed through, say, a head injury, I'll actually pick up really bad headache, and they'll also show me through my third eye. It's almost like a movie you get, so it's not seeing them in front of my face, it's more the fact that I see within a picture of someone being hit over the head with maybe a piece of wood or something like that, so they can give it to me in that sort of form. If they pass from a heart attack, I will feel like I'm physically having a heart attack. And if I don't get it right, well then I'll keep getting it until I get the answer right, and then they'll ease it from me. So I can feel it that sort of way. Also being clairvoyant, like I said, I can see a movie going through my head. Sometimes it's actually a knowing, and I get that a lot where I might not see anything or feel anything, but I'll get a knowing of how tall they are or a knowing of what they look like. And it's very hard to explain that, but it is something that I have a lot. Rarely do I get a smell or a scent. If I do get that, that might be just a way of them showing, okay, so he was a heavy smoker. So I'll get a whiff of tobacco or a perfume or something like that. But it's mainly, like I said, the feeling of them being around, or I'll see it or know it, yeah.
Depending on the location, and it can be different for every location, right?
Yeah, that's right.
In this particular location, which is Campbelltown Theatre, which is on the grounds of George Worrell's original property here, and he murdered Fred, or he was charged and was executed for the murder of Fred Fisher. Mm-hmm. Do you get anything unique in this theatre when you're here with the groups?
When I'm here with the groups, I've got to work with a lot of energy around me. Even last week, I was doing some readings and the name George came into my head, but I wasn't given anything else to go with that. So in the dressing room, I've had a fair few energies around. Even when I come in here, when we first start for the night, I'll just do a walkthrough, and I might see, I've had it before where I've seen someone sitting in the seats waiting for a theatre production to start. So it's in those sort of ways. So it just depends on the night. Like I've also had children on the stage while I've been walking around and sensing what's around me. So it really just depends on the night. And one night might be very active, and I'll get a lot of information, a lot of activity, and then I'll come back a week later and it's basically dead, So if you know what I mean. So it just depends on the night and how I'm tuning in as well, and I've got to be strong and be ready to get anything, because everything I get, it's give me some sort of other message. So I'm always aware. I'm sort of like high tune sort of thing in what's going around. So yeah.
Do you go to the location where Fred was murdered?
We don't. Do we? Sorry, I've got to stop.
We can't actually get there because it's the train line.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a train line. It's right on the actual train tracks there. So doing our own, geographical.
Wasn't a train line in those days, but was it?
No,
That was
no,
part of his
no.
property.
With the
And
fence,
so,
yeah.
so we had to sort of visualise too with the cloth, the fence and everything, and the blood and everything. So we did our investigations there, but because of the trains and power lines, it's a little bit hard with equipment with the power lines. And some of those spirits, because you know how they're just so intelligent, they try and fool you. Or
Yeah,
they can say they're Fred when you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I need confirmation. If even if I've got the name Fred, I'm not going to believe that myself until I get more confirmation, more information, because I'm a scientist. That's my background. So I'm I'm always debunking things and always questioning things. And unless I get clear answers, I'm not going to say, oh, that was Fred Fisher. I'll never do that. So, yeah.
And do spirits appear more to people who are more sort of in tune than you think people who are not, like people who are, what's the word I'm looking for? Skeptic.
Who is skeptic? Well, that's interesting. I've seen it two ways. I find that people that are an empath or sensitive, yeah, they'll feel things around them, and they can walk into a room and they won't know why they don't like that room or why you don't like that person. But what I found over the years of taking people on tours and that sort of thing is that some spirit really likes to pick on skeptics, and it might be just for their own spiritual journey. It might be a thing where, okay, this person's always questioning by themselves. Why doesn't my mother that's passed ever give me any signs, and I don't believe this and I don't believe that. And sometimes for their own journey they are meant to see a spirit or have some sort of encounter, so they do understand the actual process of going on. I've seen that time and time again over the years where someone says, I'm skeptic, I don't believe in all this stuff, it's all fairy stuff and that sort of thing, and then that night they'll actually see something and they'll come over to me quietly because they don't want to embarrass themselves and say, oh, I got this, what do you think? And yeah, so it's really both ways in that way. A lot of skeptics too, they like to block themselves off, and when you block yourself off, it is hard to penetrate that barrier. It's like when you're grieving as well, there's a process of grief. As soon as you're grieving, your aura actually starts shrinking around you to protect you naturally, so you can go through that grieving process, and then it starts to expand and open again. Yeah.
Dannie, on this exploration tonight, and I know this is a shorter part, it's just of the town hall.
Yeah.
What's your role here in the town hall tonight?
Well, tonight what I do is I like to walk around myself first and just see if I can feel anything happening, or if I get any communication from different spirit. I will take notes of that, and what I do is I go around to groups of people. Sometimes they call me over and they'll say, oh, Dannie, we felt this, or we're not too sure of this, and I'll go and check it out for them and just see if I get anything to help them out in that process, because I really love to teach people about the other world, and about spirit and how they work, because I find a lot of people feel that unless they see something right in front of their face, that, oh, there's nothing there at all. And what I'm about is I will teach people how you don't need that. It's all to do with what you sense, what you smell, what you hear. There's a lot more to it than just right in your face, being right in your face. So that's what I do. I like to walk around and sort of just educate people a bit about how I even go about it. And hopefully that will open up their minds so they have a better experience, because they're here at the end of the day because they're so curious about that side of things, and if I can help them a bit and show them what they can do, well, that's really great, so, and I love doing it. It's a passion, so yeah.
I sort of gathered that.
Yeah. It's very passionate. Yeah, so thank you.